Also, Rains was out. Who's going to get the job? Maybe Adcock on the midfield. I mean, the Swans midfield's really dangerous. Rains did a great job last week on Jones. Maybe Adcock has to go to a Kennedy, or maybe has to go to a McVeigh as we see the Swannies running out.
Yeah, it's a big day for Jarrad McVeigh's 200th game, and we all know about his emotional story last year, and it obviously had a fantastic conclusion in September last year as the premiership captain, and he's going to break through the banner and take the Swans through. Rosie, you had a chat to him earlier. He'd be pretty pumped about this.
Yeah, no, fantastic. He's a great person. Comes from a great family. I mean, they're just an outstanding family, McVeighs, as we see. And talking about the banners, we discussed it before. In all seriousness, they do a great job. I mean, all clubs put on a fantastic display. The banner they've got for McVeigh, the likeness on the banner, but captain now, Spart, he's really in career best form, and it's great to see him.
Unfortunately, you make that play on quickly, and it just falls into Sydney's hands.
Well, it has to Jack, hammers it back, the pressure builds. His read again. Merritt was there to come across, but he's taken the mark, and he surely will put this one through.
Beautiful grab. Merritt's actually holding his head. I'm not sure why, because Reid was in front, but it's about the contested ball, Rosie. Take a look at that. 11-4. It's only early in the game. This is a promising side here for Sam Reid and the coaching staff. Not sure what happened to Merritt there. He tried to spoil, but just lost his footing.
Well, he's never been the best kick in front of goal, but that one's through. He's become more of a contested player as time's gone on.
And he's done a couple of good run with rolls now, O'Keefe. His big body, he's a 6'2" playing in the midfield as the umpire gets in the way there.
That's appreciation.
Yeah.
Hanbury turns onto the left and gets them into the 50 again. Reid, nice little early shove, get rid of his opponent, set it up for Goods, delayed the handball to Jetta, and the kick goes to full forward, and Mike Pike says thank you very much.
Well, Mike Pike did the team thing at the start, because he played in the pocket, knowing that Reid was on the inexperienced Clark, and then it come back. So it's really good play, teamwork there for Mike Pike, taking Merritt out, which is their best defender, and allowing Reid to be the #1 target, and now he gets full reward.
Well, let's see if he does get full reward. No problem there. Sydney 3-3-21, Brisbane 0.
Kick, and then that little handball going through the corridor that they missed. That's what they're really struggling with at the moment. Just the little skill errors are just killing them.
Yeah, but I think it starts, I agree with that wholeheartedly. It starts at the coalface, though. Contested ball, 28-15, Sydney's favour. They've really come to play the Swans, and the Brisbane Lions at the moment in the back foot. That's his third contested mark already, Sam Reid.
Smart little back lead from Hanbury too, and that is surely a free kick. Yeah.
Well, I think it's time to put Daniel Merritt on the Reid. I know that Merritt's been down there playing the resting ruckman, but I think now Reid looks like the best forward. You play your best defender on the best forward, and all due respect to Justin Clark playing his second game, he looks all at sea at the moment on Sam Reid.
Well, I mean, Hawley touched on it before about what the Lions have done different. It's very hard to tell. I mean, there's nothing different about the Lions today. They're letting the Swans get absolutely everything their own way.
So Hanbury comes in, and that's solid enough. It's through. It's ominous signs for the Lions. 4-3-0.
Chris.
Yeah, right.
Total possession 65-29.
You're getting back to Rains. It was amazing. So they've obviously put another midfielder in to try and win the ball, but there's enough Sydney Swans premiership midfielders to run with, you would think.
Well, it's a great education for players. So Rains locks someone away, and you give a younger player a bit of a different role, maybe a half forward coming up and let him run up and back the ground and free him up a little bit. But certainly, as we see here, they're getting their slingshot game going, the Swans. Everything's going in their own favour.
Armstrong trying to hit Reid. He's a good target at the moment. All of a sudden, it's all coming back.
Well, it certainly is. The uncontested ball as well. The game on the outside, which we don't readily recognise with the Sydney Swans, it's 41 uncontested possessions to 12. So they're winning it on the inside and on the outside.
Yeah, it's been a horror start, unfortunately, for the Lions.
It is horrific, and it's only getting worse. Or better if you're a Swans fan. They have a ball up again.
Yeah, it's just the elementary errors. I mean, we see Ryan O'Keefe there. We're looking at O'Keefe's had 9 disposals, Spud, and Maloney's 2, because it's simply working harder both ways. He'll work Ryan to stop Maloney, but he'll also work offensively as well. And Maloney's going to have to work 2 ways.
And we saw what Maloney's like with the free rein last week. Surprisingly, Melbourne didn't tag him, and that's who he used to play for, and he really did chop Melbourne up.
Hanbury goes to ground, and I think a good call not to pay a free that time.
They're starting to win a little bit of contested ball now, Brisbane, which is a real positive. They're starting to even up the tackling, so their work rate at the coalface is starting to improve. But Ball use by foot, Sydney 66%, Brisbane just over 50%, 55.
Yeah, it's just the elementary errors, isn't it, Spud? They're still making. They're sort of back in the game in a physical sense, but they've now got to use the ball better.
And they've got a fair bit to make up, haven't they? A lot of ground. And the umpire late with the call, but he's paid in the back.
Yeah, Ryan O'Keefe.
Yeah.
As you see, he's doing a two-way roll. He's coming up possession number 10. 7 of those contested.
And this is where Maloney's got to go, OK, I've got 2, he's got 10. He's not going to get any more. Maloney needs to change his mindset and say, I'm actually the hunter now. I'm not going to be the hunted, I'm going to be the hunter and stop Ryan from getting the ball.
And what a magnificent player he's been. Versatile player over the years. Whether it be midfield or forward. Kicking goals just like that. Ryan O'Keefe, it's number 7 for the Swans. And Jack, delayed handball from Zorko was good. Golby and Lester to the square. Brown, look, they're going to come from every angle. Bit of a last man standing situation. Buick kept it alive for Lester.
Great
Thumped
tackle.
into the ground. In the back. Sydney crowd can't quite
Well, I
believe
thought it was a
that.
great tackle in the last minute.
The first one was,
he dropped his knees beautifully. So, and he did draw the free kick there, Lester, into the side this week.
Yeah, the first tackle was all right, and the second tackle, they've been paying that all the time. I don't have a problem with that. There's no point in jumping on the guy's back. Just grab his jumper and hold the ball in.
So Lester strolls in, should put it through from there, and he does. And that's some promise for the Lions. They've kicked the first to the second. Hanbury couldn't handball quick enough. O'Keefe on top of it. Pressure was applied by Zorko and Maloney. Richards. Hanbury again. Busy as ever. To half forward. Big battle there between Bolton and Yeo. The youngster wins the day. Buick. Here we're seeing another chain of Brisbane handballs, but they're all rushed, aren't they?
Yep.
Swans players are coming at them from the angles. Hanbury again, he's going nuts at the moment. Off to Jack. Here's Hanbury again. Third touch in a row. Working it nicely. Kennedy and into the pocket. And finally, by sheer force of numbers, they get it in there. And the opportunity.
And that's that slingshot football that Kenny, I think, was talking about before the game. Once again, a lot of pressure around the ball. Forwards coming up the ground, helping out, creating a turnover, and then all of a sudden you've got Luke Parker runs back into space and a nice kick over the top.
So Parker, the Swans actually looking for their first. It's taken 14 minutes in the second term, and there it is.
50 more of an opportunity to mark the ball.
Maloney from the side. Matner came. Man left standing was Paparone. Here's Zorko. Only had an instant to sum it up, and that's exactly what he did. Puts it through, executed the kick beautifully.
They tied it up in the second quarter for sure, but they just can't keep making them because, as we touched on, they're not going to get a lot of scoring chances. It's just making the most of it. Here's the difference.
Good spread here.
Yeah, just good spread.
Here's Jeddah. This is what the crowd want to see. He's had one, he's had 2.
Good chase, Merritt.
He's going to try and conquer a third, but he passes instead and finds Reid.
And look, Merritt, to his credit, Merritt, he actually busted his backside to get across, but unfortunately now his man's going to have a shot at goal. So I think it was it Golby? Where are we? Yeah, Golby. Sort of was a loose player back. Merritt left him. Great run, but there's a terrific effort by Merritt just to track him down. But unfortunately for Merritt, his man's now going to kick a goal.
Which he duly does.
I didn't mind that from Merritt. As I said, he left his man, and I think it was Craig Bird who put the shepherd on Merritt.
Yeah.
Merritt was just about to... It was a great chase on Lewis Jeddah, and it was great poise from Jeddah also to pick it up. Have a look at the run here now. You can see Merritt coming in from the middle of the screen here. Great running. I think it's Kieran Bird comes in with the shepherd at the last minute. And then all of a sudden there's, as you said, Reid, who's Merritt's direct opponent. That hurts Merritt. It was just a matter of no connection for his teammates here to help him out.
Well, it was Golby that was loose, Spud, so he was the one that sort of had to pick up the Reid. Now, it is a mismatch, Golby versus Reid, so all he could do there is maybe the best he could do. Probably need to lock on and maybe just push him away from the dangerous area. But, yeah, really stiff from Merritt there. Just a great chase. Try to help his teammates out, and his opponent kicks a goal.
It's ignited the crowd a bit. The Sydney chant goes up. They want more of the same. Into the 50. They come from all angles. McGlynn had the hardest angle to run at. Now Hanley's going nuts at the umpire.
Well, I saw Hanley
got
just
grabbed,
yeah, there's no doubt he did, and I think he's got every right to ask the question. But you're right, Hutto, your first call was great. Great courage from McGlynn, because he was aware that both Hanley and his direct opponent were in a tussle. So he thought, well, I'm not going to get to a front and square, so I'll have a go at the mark myself. But thought Hanley was a little bit stiff there.
So from behind the goals, we watch McGlynn come in. And he's already punched in the air and celebrated, because that's another for the Swans.
That delivery there, because since quarter time they've won. They've had 30 more disposals, 17 more contested possessions, equal inside 50, 16 more handball receives. But unfortunately, Sydney have won the last two quarters, 6 goals, 7 to 4-6.
McGrath, that's a better opportunity now. In quick to the one-on-one. And Richardson, oh, he's paid the free against him.
Oh, gee whiz.
Now, there wasn't a lot in it, but even the kick wasn't to Leuenberger's advantage anyway.
There
Let's have a look.
Just a little shove. That's
Was
the
it an
rules.
open hand?
Was it still a push? You can't push in a marking.
Even with a fist.
We've known that for a whole week.
How many goals would Plugger have kicked under those rules, Bud?
And how many have I got kicked on me? Probably more to the point.
Yeah, no, you're right. I mean, it's a dramatic difference to the way we've seen the marking contest unfold in years gone past. A dramatic difference.
Leuenberger doesn't miss this time.
Well done.
Good start to this last term.
Yeah, look, they've been inside 50. What is it, 5-0? So the Lions' dominance in this quarter, they deserved the goal. So forget the free kick. I mean, they deserved the goal. They've been working extremely hard. Here it is. Here, Leuenberger sort of worked his way to the front. Now maybe you could argue that's the hands in the back. I suppose
that was hands in the back.
There's the last night's one. So it's going to be a talking point. There's no question about that. You can see this one here from Thompson. It's just a really small nudge. There's no way known that can be a free kick, but it was paid as one.
Well, that one wasn't hands in the back then. That was hands on the arm. Now, if it's hands on the arm, we'll wear it, but there's got to be some consistency there. One thing Michael Voss has to do to his players, desperate to win this quarter of football. They've started each quarter, the second, third and this quarter, extremely well, but it's been the experience of Sydney running over the top in the end of quarters.
Oh, Zorko, there was some interference in the goal square, unfortunately, for the Lions.
That was a bit sloppy by Leuenberger. You've got a height advantage over Richards. That's where you just need to whack the backside in, or even just reach over the top and go for the mark. Just a little bit messy from Leuenberger.
They're getting busy again, though, the Lions here.
They're dominating the game at the moment.
High ball into full forward. Brown not in the best position. Richards getting plenty of work at the moment. So is Grundy. Bird wanted to give it off to Hanbury. Wasn't much for him. Had to squeeze the kick a little. But now this should work in their advantage. Parker. Nothing further along the line. Lewis Jetta, he's off and going again. Crowd start to buzz. Kicks into the 50, spearing ball for McVeigh.
That's been the improvement on him today. All the Brisbane defenders expect him to kick the ball long at full tilt. That is very hard to do, to break stride and then not have as much penetration on the kick, Rosie. That is an outstanding bit of play there from Lewis Jetta.
Well, these are the things that the other teams haven't allowed Lewis to do this year, is just get goal side him. It's the worst position you could possibly be in as a young midfielder chasing Lewis Jetta, because he's so quick. And that's, as you said, at top speed, that's a beautiful kick to McVeigh.
And Jarrad McVeigh beautifully aligned to goal and drilled it through for the Swans.
A couple of players run towards goal to have an extra less couple of players around this clearance. There's numbers everywhere.
No one in the goal square, and Maloney knew that, and so did Green. And I reckon it's there. It is.
It's the four-quarter consistent effort, and it's the finishing. It's been an issue for quite a number of games previous.
Yeah, that's certainly the thing that stands out, Hawley. It's probably less about their effort, but more about their finishing.
That's better.
That's much better. We haven't seen a lot of that, where they do lower their eyes and get a genuine one-on-one and kick to advantage. So certainly what's cost them a lot has been their disposal, and they're just a lot of sort of sloppy handballs and kicks. But certainly from an effort point of view, if you're a Lions supporter, you couldn't fault the effort.
And this man, Josh Green, was the sub at the start of the day. Got an early run at it. Just after half-time, he's kicked a goal already, and he's going back for his second. Not much wrong with that kick.
No, you'd be fairly happy after quarter time. You're watching at home in Queensland. It was a 40-point lead at quarter time, and it's 47 points now. So a young team, you're playing interstate, you're playing last year's premiers. It looked like it was going to be a 100-point defeat.
Yeah.
So to their credit, they've really honed in at quarter time. You could see Michael Voss was asking for a special effort at quarter time. They've simplified it. They've gone one-on-one, and they've nearly outplayed Sydney in the last 3 quarters.
Well, they've kicked 3 goals, 1 to 2 goals straight in this quarter. The inside 50 count 11 to 4. So part of that reflecting what you guys are talking about, and they're winning the contested count as well.
Yeah, well, since quarter time, they've won all the key indicators. The inside 50s, the contested ball, handball receives. And they're nearly equal on the scoreboard now.
I mean, Green's up to 5 and 2 goals. It's a significant, I want to say, advantage. I mean, both teams have got the same advantage. But if you're a player coming on as a sub spud, you've got to be looking at 10 possessions a quarter. You have to be, because you're coming on in a situation where everyone else is tired. To get real advantage out of your sub, and I know, as I said, both teams have had the same advantage, but you've got to get 10 possessions out of your sub in a quarter.
Well, both boys are racking up some disposals. Lamb's got 3, as you said. Green 5 with 2 goals. So that's a great return.
A little bit of uncertainty about where to go for Rockcliffe, but he found Redden. His running mate comes straight back on the path that Rockcliffe had trodden, kicked it into the middle, and there's Swans everywhere waiting to break. Malcheski says, go chase it, boys, and Adam Goods might just win the race and get the reward.
I tell you, if you think that Goodsy's lost some pace.
Found a yard then.
Yeah, well, let's have a look at that again, and we will. He absolutely streamed past Patfull. He was starting about 5 metres behind him, and there's that slingshot foot again. But based on a turnover, and this is just a bomb ball going in, because Patfull's actually in front of Goodsy going back inside, as is Merritt, and that's why Adam Goods will play for many, many years.